Welcome back. We are now hearing that Internet Computer and Google and Franklin Templeton are looking into Solana and bridging the gap between traditional finance and crypto finance. And we're going to be discussing Internet Computer, Hedera's HBAR hitting new milestones, the SUI token, Bitcoin mining stocks, and much, much more. But we're going to be starting right here because this is extremely important in my view. As you guys know, last month in April, we discussed kind of changing the strategy of this channel and what we are going to be covering and not covering. As you guys know, we're going to be covering news and actual events that are occurring on these different cryptos and blockchain and DeFi ecosystems. We're not going to be talking about promises. We're going to be talking about actual deployments of this technology because we are now in the bull market. I've been getting asked a lot, Cryptoviser, have we hit the bottom? I don't know, and nothing I say on this channel is financial advice, but in my view, I do think that the correction that we saw in March and April did mark the kind of the macro reset. And now that we're past the Bitcoin halving of 2024, I think the game has changed. And I think that we are now in potentially up only trajectory for the next 12 to 18 months. Now, this doesn't mean tomorrow the market is going to just pump 10x. But I believe that over the course of the next year and a half, we are going to see massive upswings in the market. And generally speaking, the market is going to go higher. But there's a lot of other things going on in crypto. Now, you guys know KSI. He's a huge YouTuber. He actually posted this, and I wanted to bring it to your attention because this is very similar to the way that kind of a lot of people probably have felt through the bear market and now in potentially the bull market post-halving of 2024. So let's get into it. And don't forget to give this video an absolutely free thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Remember, we upload every single day. That may be changing a little bit. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, but we've been uploading every single day since 2018, okay, every day. And all I ask for is that you guys give the video a free thumbs up and do your own research. So KSI Crypto said on X the other day, I don't take pride in being right a lot of the time, a lot this time around. This is my second cycle and it might be a shock to a lot of you, but I think I'm going to have to step back from crypto. He said, I'm a guy that gets obsessed with things, whether it's YouTube, boxing, music, etc. I simply have to be one of the best at that thing, and right now, crypto is that thing. KSI said, I've taken to the absolute extreme, and now it's literally affecting my health, relationships, and causing me hardly to sleep. It's mentally draining, so I've got to stop and change my route. And this is what we talk about in the markets all the time, right? You have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to pivot. And this is not just for investing. This goes for businesses as well. You know, I've talked to business owners. I've seen business owners. You probably have seen TV shows with business owners that say, oh, well, I just don't know why no customers are coming in. I don't know why we're not making as much money as we used to. And it's like, but they won't change anything about their business that they're doing. And so when we're in the investing world, we have to take what is going on in the markets, what the data and metrics are showing, what the user growth or user activity looks like, and determine whether these blockchains are really delivering what people want. And if they're not delivering what people want based on lack of usage or declined active addresses and volume and all of that, these ecosystems of developers need to pivot and change what they're doing. And if they don't do that, well, they're going to continue to do what they do into irrelevance. And we've seen this with a lot of ecosystems out here. I mean, just take Tron, for instance. I don't know a single person, I haven't even seen a single comment about Tron on my channel, on Twitter, or really anywhere, on other YouTube channels in years. And yet Tron continues to be a top 14 crypto. That doesn't mean that if you're holding millions of dollars in Tron that you're just going to be able to sell it because is there somebody on the other end buying it? Well, based on my research, the answer to that is no. This is not bearish on Tron. It's just saying from my investment thesis, this is not okay. This is not an investable asset. And so this goes for any of the assets that we talk about, right? And so this is a different cycle, guys. There is a lot of new things going on. There's a lot of new technologies. There's a lot of big money involved here. And it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you think or what I think, right? Wall Street is in control. They have Bitcoin ETF. And what we have seen already is when they are buying, the prices go up and everybody's very bullish. And when they start selling, people start to worry and the prices start to drop. We just saw this at the beginning, end of April, beginning of May, when we started to see outflows from all the Bitcoin ETFs, including BlackRock's, and people started to get bearish. This is, in my view, Wall Street kind of letting crypto know they are in control of the entire market. All they need is the Bitcoin ETF because all the altcoins follow the Bitcoin trajectory. So when BlackRock, or if BlackRock wants to suppress the price or drop the price, they can do it literally probably overnight. And this will go for pretty much the whole market, right? So we have to be able to pivot and adjust what we're doing and kind of our investment thesis and strategy, and also kind of what we're just doing, right? When you want to change jobs, when you want to get a new car, when you need to, maybe change your hairstyle or whatever, like that's a big change because most people just continue to do the same thing. And so what KSI is saying here is kind of the way that I view all of the markets. If it's not the right investment, if it's not the right time or the right amount of energy that you're putting into it, you just need to adjust. He said, I know a lot of people were confused as to why I care about crypto in the first place, since I've already made a lot of money from all other endeavors, right? He's a large YouTuber. He has a lot of other businesses on the side, but it's because he genuinely says he's intrigued in the space, and also him getting burned the last cycle pissed him off. So he wanted to prove to himself that he can actually make money through trading and leveraging, etc. He said, I've succeeded, but at the cost of a lot of things in life. So I've got to stop. In terms of what I think will happen in the market, the bottom is near. He said this, by the way, end of April. And I agree with him. I do think the bottom has either already occurred or we're very close to it. But generally speaking, the market, I think, is going higher. He said the bull run isn't over by any means. GCR is right. Slowly DCA into coins you believe in as of now. He said, I've been bearish as soon as we hit all-time highs, but that's because it was obvious from looking at the charts and patterns. Either way, a lot of people are going to make a lot of money in this cycle. Just try not to let your health suffer from it and take profits. You can't time the top or bottom. And I agree. You can't time the top or bottom of the market, right? That's why I'm saying, I don't know, maybe we're not at the bottom of the market. Maybe we're going to go much lower. I thought Bitcoin was going to hit $30,000 at the low, but maybe it won't, right? And I'm changing my investment thesis because even if it does hit 30,000, then maybe I'll buy more. And if it doesn't hit 30,000, well, I'm still in the market, right? So that's the kind of the way that I view it. And I kind of relate to what KSI is saying here. And what we're going to be doing on this channel, part of the revamp of this channel, by no longer covering these projects that are not up to what I consider investability, is we're also going to be kind of taking a step back. And we may not be uploading every single day going forward. We may not even upload every single week. Because there's a lot of other things that I'm doing from a business perspective and growth perspective outside of this channel that I think that, sometimes it's good to take a step back, right? Every single day we've been uploading on this channel since 2018, right? We missed a day or two, but basically most of the days we upload more than one video anyway. So over 3,000 or 4,000 videos. And, it gets exhausting. It gets tiring, especially when you get attacked constantly from people who don't like your outlook or investment thesis. But at the end of the day, my investment thesis is my investment thesis, and I'm allowed to have opinions. And if you don't like it, don't watch these videos. Anyway, going more into my investment thesis, we've been talking about the Bitcoin mining stocks. We are now hearing that S&P and Dow Jones indices say that Marathon Digital, which is the largest Bitcoin mining company in the world from a publicly traded perspective, they're going to replace another stock in the S&P Small Cap 600, effective prior to the market open on May 8th. So effectively, Marathon Digital is going to be the first Bitcoin mining company that's going to be entering one of these major indices. Now, granted, this is a smaller, this is not the major S&P 500, this is the Small Cap 600. But bottom line is this is going to increase the usage and, I shouldn't say usage, the holdings of Marathon Digital, right? Because any other fund that is tracking this small cap index is going to have to buy those stocks, and Marathon is going to be there. And this is very in line with what my thesis is, that most of the Bitcoin mining companies are going to do extremely well this cycle based on previous cycle. I mean, Marathon Digital during the 2020 cycle did a 40x. You can see right here, April of 2020, which is right around the time when I'm recording this video in 2024, right? In May, went from 40 cents all the way up to $75. Okay, let's do the math on that. Let's pull the calculator over. $75 and divided by 45 cents, it's 160x. Now, are we going to do that again? I mean, we have a much higher market cap now, so 160 times 5.67 is $907 billion. I don't think so. I don't think Marathon Digital is going to hit $1 trillion. I mean, it could, but I don't think it's going to do that this cycle. But when we're looking at some of these smaller Bitcoin mining companies, like Iris Energy, IREN, provided a business update at the beginning of May. Their operating hash rate increased to 9 exahashes a second. They expect to achieve 10 exahashes in the coming weeks. From my understanding, Marathon Digital now has, I think, 30 exahashes. So Marathon Digital has 30 exahashes. Iris Energy has 10 exahashes, or 9 exahashes, but they're going to be at 10. That means Marathon is at $5.67 billion. Okay, so Iris Energy should be 1/3 of that if we're just basing it off of exahash rate, and it's not. I mean, it's what is that? 5.67 divided by. I should have done that wrong. Let's do this. Just pull up the numbers. 5,670,000,000, divide that by 752, 740. Yep, and that's 7.5 times larger. Right. So I think maybe Marathon is overvalued, but if they're going to be included in the stock indices, maybe not. Maybe that means Iris Energy is undervalued. So Iris Energy is another one that I'm looking at and holding. We also are now hearing that Bitcoin mining company Stronghold Digital is looking at options, including the sale of the company. As soon as I heard this, I tried to sell all of my my position in this stock. I don't think that this is investable if they're looking to sell at the beginning of the bull market. This is ridiculous. This means they haven't prepared for the bull market. And as I've explained through the entire bear market, by the way, I still hold a large quantity of this that maybe not a large quantity. I don't know. I hold some of it, and I don't know whether I want to hold some just as kind of like a hedge just in case they do well. But I don't know. It doesn't make sense because the last cycle, remember what I told you guys during the bear market, the Bitcoin mining companies, if they're not thinking about the following year now, they're not going to succeed. And so the fact that Stronghold is already looking to sell means that they haven't been prepared for the bull market. When we look at other Bitcoin mining stocks like Gryphon or Griffin Mining, GRYP, I think that they're extremely well positioned to move into a top performing stock, right? $56 million market cap. Most of their executives are from Riot Blockchain or Marathon Digital, and they're continuing to grow, and I think they're going to continue to grow. So if Marathon Digital continues to build their market cap and people start to understand what these Bitcoin mining companies are and the tradability of them, I think that a 10x is easy. I mean, a 10x in Griffin Mining wouldn't even bring Griffin to the market cap of Iris Energy. Now, granted, Griffin Mining is about 1 exahash per second, maybe a little bit less than that, but they have the ability to grow. And maybe Griffin will buy Stronghold. Maybe maybe they'll buy, machines from another Bitcoin mining company. I don't know. That's just the way that I'm thinking about it. But I would say for like the middle of 2024, I'm most bullish on the Bitcoin mining stocks. I think that they're going to see the largest growth in 2024 compared to other assets, including crypto. I mean, I think most of crypto's moves to the upside is going to happen probably end of 2024, early 2025, and I definitely could be wrong on that. But this brings us to MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy just had a conference called Bitcoin for Corporations. I don't think this is the first time they've done this, but really it's where MicroStrategy talks about the benefits of having Bitcoin in the balance sheet, what they can do with it, and obviously we know MicroStrategy has been doing some very interesting stuff with Bitcoin. I'm actually, I was very bearish, right? Because I thought that we would see MicroStrategy drop if Bitcoin dropped, but we didn't see Bitcoin drop. And therefore, we didn't really see MicroStrategy drop. It did drop 50% from its all-time high of $2,000. It came to about $1,000 within the last month or so. You can see that right here on the chart. But I do think that we at least hit a local bottom. There may be more downside ahead, right? We know that MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor sold about $350 million, $400 million worth of stock in the company. He owns zero MicroStrategy now. I would imagine he's probably buying Bitcoin on the other end with that. So think about that. Technically, the MicroStrategy price should drop when he's selling $400 million in his stock, right? But if he's taking that money and then buying Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy is a hedge for Bitcoin, and he keeps the price of Bitcoin elevated, that's going to keep the price of MicroStrategy elevated. And so there's a really just like a 6-month time frame from when the Bitcoin halving occurs to when you see the adjustment in the price, right? Because most people think that when the Bitcoin halving occurs, you're going to see the Bitcoin price double, but that was kind of already priced in. And so some of the downside that we may see with Bitcoin and moves to the downside could just kind of be the market trying to adjust. But from previous cycles, the major adjustment to the upside that we see with Bitcoin usually happens a few months after the Bitcoin halving. So I'm really kind of targeting like end of summer, early September, maybe October, November, when we're going to start to see real huge moves to the upside in Bitcoin. So if Michael Saylor and these Bitcoin maxis can keep Bitcoin elevated for that time frame, MicroStrategy I think is going to be just fine. And so MicroStrategy said at this conference, actually Michael Saylor said this, he said, companies returning capital to shareholders via share buybacks are indicating their management has basically given up. This was Phong Le, the CEO of MicroStrategy. And Michael Saylor said they're just waiting to die. And basically what they're talking about is share buybacks, right? Companies taking profits from their company and instead of reinvesting it or putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet, which will give them long-term viability if you believe in the Bitcoin thesis, right, of Bitcoin price and the supply demand metrics and the scarcity and all of that. If you believe that, you would understand taking those profits and putting it into an asset that's going to appreciate. This is a long-term view versus companies that are just taking the profits and buying back their stock to keep their stock elevated to make their shareholders happy and not really reinvesting in the company, reinvesting in the talent, reinvesting in new technologies. The same exact week they said this, Warren Buffett, we found out, cut his investment in Apple by 13%. And Apple just announced the largest ever share buyback in history of $110 billion, right? Dr. Evil would love hearing that. But think about that. Number one, to me, this says, based on where their sales and all of that revenue is, this means that Apple is overcharging their customer base by about 25%. So if you buy an Apple product, you're being overcharged 25% just so they can go and buy back their stock. They're not, I mean, think about the amount of money this is. And by the way, Apple also lays people off. When you're buying back $110 billion, you shouldn't be laying anybody off, right? You should be reinvesting the money into maybe adjusting. Even if you, like, I think that they closed down the Apple Car product, and so that whole team was laid off. Maybe have them kind of adjust to something else, or maybe buy up other companies, right? They look at this. With $110 billion, you can buy the entirety of Lockheed Martin, John Deere, Starbucks, Mercedes, Porsche, Shopify, Ferrari, Boeing, Airbnb, Sony, Dell, and BP. Let's use Starbucks, right? Because Starbucks is a very large multinational company, okay? So let's look at Starbucks market cap. Starbucks market cap is $82 billion. Literally, Apple could buy the entire company and still do a $30 billion stock buyback. But what this tells me, and this kind of goes into what we've been talking about with Apple, what have they produced? Nothing. Right? It's just iPhone after iPhone after iPhone after iMac after iMac after iPad after iPad. Nothing is new. There's no new technologies. And we're going through a technological shift right now, right? From a financial standpoint, from an AI standpoint, from a global usage standpoint. And so if they're not adjusting to this and they're just taking this money and not reinvesting into better technologies, into enhancing their products, they just gave up. And we've been talking about this for a while. I am so bearish on Apple. And it's not just me. I mean, it's not just me. Warren Buffett, I think it was 50% of their portfolio or something like that was Apple stock. Berkshire Hathaway cut its investment in Apple by 13%. This is the second straight quarter that they reduced their stake in Apple, right? And Warren Buffett believed in Apple. He said this before because he said that you can just keep selling people the same iPhone over and over and over because people love the product, but you don't even have to enhance anything. That's how dumb the customer is. That's basically what he said without saying that directly. But yeah, so there's 2 quarters now that Berkshire Hathaway has been selling off. And as I've explained last year, when Warren Buffett starts selling the shares, who's buying them? Who's buying them? And so I do think that I'm very bearish on Apple. In Berkshire Hathaway's Q1 earnings, Berkshire Hathaway reported Apple's stake at $135 billion, implying 790 million shares. That's down 13%. So it kind of gives you a little bit of pause, right? You see MicroStrategy buying Bitcoin, putting it on their balance sheet, leveraging it to they're doing some other integrations with digital identities on the Bitcoin network and all of this. And I'm sure they have other tricks up their sleeve. And you have these Bitcoin mining companies continuing to grow and change the way that we view the usage and expansion of the energy and energy grids. And very positive things and very technologically advanced and from a development standpoint, just groundbreaking. And meanwhile, Apple last year or 2 years ago, they had a yellow iPhone. They released the yellow iPhone. That was the big thing of the year. And it's like, you guys making $110 billion extra on the side that you're just going to buy back your own stock. And meanwhile, you have a yellow iPhone. It's unbelievable, guys. $2.8 trillion. Okay. That is 3 times, I think, the market cap of Bitcoin. Right? Bitcoin's market cap is 1.2 trillion when I'm recording this video. So yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, the time just to show us how poor we are, right? The time it takes to make $1 million in profit. Apple, it takes them 5 seconds. Think about that. Every 5 seconds, they're making $1 million in profit. Google, 5 seconds. Microsoft, 6 seconds. Look at these. JP Morgan, 10 seconds. So yeah, we are poor, and a lot of these companies, they're not doing that well. Starbucks the other day, they just said that their sales are not doing that well, and they're not changing anything about the way they do business. They're like, no, our prices are fine. People love coming in our stores. Every single Starbucks that I've been in since the pandemic, it looks like literal trash, and the coffee is terrible. Most of their drinks is just sugar drinks. Sustainable? I don't think so. McDonald's, they also said that the consumer's starting to crack. So what does McDonald's resolve for this? They're going to make larger burgers. That's what they said. They're going to make larger burgers instead of maybe making fresher foods, making foods that people want to eat. No. They want bigger foods. Okay. And but the bottom line is they're still making unbelievable money, and people still keep going to them. I would rather, you guys know, I'd rather go to a local coffee shop than go to Starbucks. A lot of times, you don't get Colombian coffee at like a little, like deli or whatever. It's like the best in the world. You can get this in almost any major city throughout the United States. So anyway, this is just a kind of a understanding of kind of where we're at from a financial standpoint, right? And we're going to be getting to the crypto news in just one more minute, but I wanted to show you this. At the F1 race in Miami, just at the beginning of May, these were the prices of the food. Now, I thought this was like maybe in another country and it was just in their local currency and not in US dollars. But then I found out, no, this was in Miami, right? So in Miami, they were charging steamed buns, Korean barbecue, shiitake, pickled vegetables, spicy mayo, and lotus chips, $120. $120. Crispy wing board with lemon pepper, Thai chili, dips, and crudites, $190. You want 1 ounce of caviar there? $400. Fruit refresher, pink pineapple, watermelon, stone fruit, I don't know what that is, kiwi, and coconut granita, $190. Now, granted, I understand. You go to a sporting event, you expect to pay a lot, right? This is more than just a lot. I mean, this is really crazy. So even if I was there, would I spend that for a steamed bun, $120? I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. Anyway, into the crypto news, guys. The Hedera network has officially processed over 50 billion mainnet transactions since it launched. As always, they say a huge thanks to the incredible ever-growing community of enterprises, developers, and users who made this momentous achievement into a reality. So We've been starting to cover Hedera and HBAR on this channel, and I see a lot of HBAR fans, a lot of HBAR holders on this channel. A lot of people are telling me, that I need to continue to look into Hedera, and we're going to on this channel, right? It is a lower priced crypto, which is very interesting because it does have a fairly high market cap, $4 billion for 11 cents. But remember, when like newbies start to get into the crypto ecosystem, they look and say, well, Bitcoin's too expensive, Ethereum's too expensive, Binance is too expensive, Solana's too expensive. Nobody wants XRP, nobody wants Toncoin, nobody wants Cardano. Then you have Avalanche. Okay, maybe it's kind of not expensive, but look at Tron. Are people going to really buy Tron? Probably not. And so they keep going down the list, and really it's Polygon under $1 and Hedera under $1 in the top 30, outside of XRP and Cardano. But so yeah, I do think that Hedera has the potential to 5x, get it to. 5x from 4 billion would be $20 billion, maybe about 21 or $22 billion. So that would be a $50 or $60 price, a 50, 60 cent price. If we go up to about $1, if we just 10x from here, that would be $41 billion. Last cycle, Cardano did 30 billion and it didn't even have smart contracts yet. So to think that Hedera can do 40 billion when it does have smart contracts and it does have a lot of technologies that we've been covering, I think it's definitely a possibility. So I want to know what you guys think. And if you are in the HBAR ecosystem and community, don't forget to hit subscribe on this channel. We upload every single day, but that may change. So I got to change my intro on these videos. But anyway, we're also now hearing that Dfinity developers have released the Galactic Bridge, and it's now open source. This is a cross-chain bridge that allows users to move Solana to the internet computer. Users can swap between Solana and G Solana, a permissionless token that represents Solana on ICP. So one of the things that we've been talking about with internet computer is that they have chain key technology or chain fusion technology, and this allows internet computer to directly write on and interact with Bitcoin and Ethereum. But it doesn't do it outside of those ecosystems necessarily, and it doesn't have traditional DeFi bridges like we see on Solana, on Ethereum, on Polygon, etc. And so I do believe that that could potentially hold internet computer back a bit. But now we're seeing that they have bridged to Solana, and it's open source. And this is big in my view because Solana is the play this cycle. Right? It's the play for the venture capitalists. It's a play for the bag holders from the last cycle. And I think Solana is going to continue to do fairly well. Am I invested in it? No. Do I regret not investing in it? No, because I still believe it's built by and for the billionaires. And I still believe that these billionaires are going to dump their coins onto most of retail once the prices get much higher. If we go to $300, $400, $500, there's 100% incentive for the big whales that have been holding to sell because they know that the entry liquidity that's coming in, buying Solana at those prices, is going to be their exit liquidity. And if they don't exit the market, somebody else will. Somebody actually just sent me a video from somebody talking about a crypto project, and they were asking them basically like why the price is going to go up. And they're like, oh, well, retail is going to join. And then when retail comes, then the price is going to go up. And I'm like, this is a whale saying, oh, well, retail is going to come and then the price is going to go up. And what do you think the whale is going to do? The whales are going to sell. And so if the whales sell when retail is coming in, then that to me says the whales are relying on retail to enter. And they were saying this in an interview. The whales are waiting for retail to enter and buy up this coin. That way they can sell into that exit liquidity. I understand retail is probably going to be a big piece of the market going much higher. And so if you sell when the market goes higher, that is some exit liquidity. But to just rely on retail versus technology and versus bridging and versus venture capital money and versus all of these different aspects that Solana has, it's a different kind of concept, right? And so I'm a little bit still nervous about Solana, but you guys know how I feel about internet computer. A lot of people have been asking also, Cryptoviser, have you rebought into internet computer? Do you think it's going below $10? Like I said throughout this video, like I don't know the answer to this question. I did rebuy into internet computer. because I do think the trend is going higher now. And yes, Internet Computer may drop below $10 again. But we also have to remember that Internet Computer had a failed launch. And what we have seen in 2024 thus far, and even before 2024, right? I would say like from 2023 into 2024, when we were at $2.90 low to this, $13 to $20 high, this could just be the market readjusting to Internet Computer's true value. And even if the rest of the market drops, there's a potential that Internet Computer is not going to drop. Because remember, there is a lot of people locked in at over $50, over $60, over $70 as their average dollar cost average. A lot of these holders. And so they have no incentive to sell at $10 or $20. So where is the liquidity coming from? So I don't think that we're going to see major pullbacks in Internet Computer for the most part compared to these other assets in crypto until we kind of break that $50 mark, $100 mark, $75 mark. Then you'll probably see some of these people kind of pulling out of Internet Computer, taking their initial investment and moving on because they've been in loss for so many years. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, I did take profits when we hit like the $15 to $20 range. Now we're back at $13, right? I own Internet Computer again. I'm very bullish on it. I think that there is so much technology that is in development, already deployed, and the core foundation of ICP allows quick and rapid deployments of a lot of these technologies that people want, like AI, like cross-chain compatibility, like what we just covered, bringing a open source bridge to the ecosystem on top of chain fusion technology, which, by the way, the Near protocol just recently copied from the Internet Computer, proof of concept, I guess you can call it. And yes, there is a lot of FUD about Internet Computer, but it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. These people saying, oh, well, Internet Computer is old technology, Internet Computer is this or that. It doesn't matter because people are saying that Tron is going to go to $1 billion. People are saying Toncoin is going to stay in the top 10. People are saying, other assets that we've talked about like XRP and ADA, these are going to do extremely well and outperform everything and flip Ethereum. I think that's nonsense. I don't even think Internet Computer is going to flip Ethereum necessarily. And it doesn't need to. It literally doesn't need to. Because look, Ethereum right now is about $400 billion, $370 billion. We'll just say 400 to keep it round. Internet Computer is $66 billion. So just a 10x from here would be a $130 price. That would be a $61 billion market cap. Double it, $260 price would be a $120 billion market cap. So Internet Computer can literally 20x and it will still be just 1/3 of the current market cap of Ethereum. So in my view, Internet Computer, it doesn't even need to flip Ethereum. And it's probably better off not even trying to flip Ethereum. Get into the top 15, get into the top 10. I think that's very possible and highly likely based on my thesis, not financial advice. These are just my opinions. I could be wrong about anything and everything that we talk about, right? So I know a lot of you guys agree with me on this, but we have to watch what Solana is doing because Solana is from the last cycle, had a lot of negative press from FTX and all of that, but they continue, and also all the shutdowns of the network, but they continue to grow. Solana Game Shift adds Google Cloud integration for crypto games, right? So creators building blockchain games with Solana Labs Game Shift platform will be able to tap into Google Cloud features via this integration. Not only that, Franklin Templeton, the financial giant, they just posted this about Solana's accelerated adoption dated in May of 2024. It says Solana survived the FTX collapse in 2022 and emerged in 2023 even stronger. After being thought of as dead or forgotten, Solana has demonstrated its resilience and dominated in capturing the surge of activity in 2023 and 2024. Franklin Templeton's view is that Solana's growth is likely to continue because it's well positioned to capture the next wave of crypto adoption, solidifying themselves as the third major crypto asset after Bitcoin and Ethereum. So they think it's going to be in the top 3, right? Right now, it's in the top 4. Take out Tether, stablecoin, doesn't really matter. Binance Coin. There's no real usage outside of the Binance ecosystem for per se. So yeah, you could say Solana's already in the top 3. And the venture capitalists love it. While other ecosystems spent years attacking and talking down on venture capitalists, like directly, Mark Cuban, Mike Novogratz, to the point where nobody even mentions these other coins anymore that go on the attack. These venture capitalists love Solana, love it. No matter how many times it goes down, they love it. And they're probably going to make a lot of money off of it. And it's not just Solana, right? It's getting the venture capitalists on board, and then they themselves will build companies and hire builders to grow the ecosystem of Solana or whatever other ecosystem we're talking about, Ethereum, Avalanche, Polkadot, etc. They will build businesses and hire builders to build products that are going to launch on these platforms. That's why we see Solana continuing to grow. And another like newer type ecosystem called the SUI network. We haven't really done too much coverage of it, but I saw a lot of drama with the SUI network. They're addressing claims about their token supply. SUI maintains that their tokenomics are sound and that it uses reputable third parties to handle token storage. So effectively, they clarified misunderstandings about their token supply. In a post on X, they refuted criticism of the tokenomics around the distribution and control of its SUI token. One guy, Justin from Cyber Capital, expressed concerns about the SUI team's token holdings. He suggested that the founders may control a substantial portion of the staked coins, posing a centralization risk, and called for greater transparency and accountability from the SUI network. Now, SUI did respond in this tweet. They said recently there have been some misleading posts about SUI's token supply. Let's set the record straight, starting with the basics. Locked tokens are locked by third-party custodians. They cannot be moved and are safely custodied until they're unlocked according to SUI's token emission schedule. The founders of Miston Labs do not control the SUI Foundation treasury, the community reserves, stake subsidies, or any tokens allocated to investors. Further, there's no mystery about token ownership. Every token that will be released has been allocated. SUI Foundation is the largest holder of locked coins, which will be unlocked in accordance with the public emissions schedule. These tokens are used to support builders, advance the Move programming language, increase network security, and grow the ecosystem through initiatives like developer grants, hackathons, bug bounties, and academic research, among others. Staking rewards are already in circulation because they're composed of stake subsidies and network fees. They say furthermore, 100% of staking rewards earned by the SUI Foundation are returned to the community and included in the public emissions schedule. So let's look at the token supply and circulation. And by the way, this is what every project should have on their website. They should have a part where you can go and read through the tokenomics. How many coins were released at Genesis, who owned them, what the unlock schedule is, what the inflation schedule is, and all of that. This says the SUI mainnet launched publicly in May of 2023. The network's token SUI facilitates on-chain transactions, pays gas fees, secures the network, and provides liquidity on-chain. The SUI token supply is capped and has a long-run circulating supply of 10 billion coins. At mainnet, roughly 5% of these coins were in circulation, with the remainder being released on a proposed schedule as shown in the graph below to maintain security. The total supply has been apportioned in a manner to support those who contributed at the launch of the network and to ensure the ongoing health through a vibrant, active community. And so you can see this chart right here. It goes all the way through 2030, and it shows you the inflation schedule through Series A coins, B coins, Miston Treasury, Community Reserve, Early Contributor coins, Community Access Program, and stake subsidies. It says, note these circulation amounts refer to the numbers at the end of each month. So right now we're in about, we'll just say April 2024, and it looks like it's about 2.5 billion coins. And by 2030, this will just about double to just under 5 billion coins. So you can see the increase by different category of coin. And you can actually read through the token release schedule. You can read through, how these coins are in circulation, who's getting what. and all of that. We're not going to do that on today's video. If you guys want, I can create a separate video where we call it, it's like just a series on this channel, exploring SUI's network or whatever coin. And we just kind of go through whether it's investable, right? We go through the tokenomics, how many coins are totally released, what the on-chain activity looks like, and all of that. So we can definitely do that in a future video, but I thought it was important that we cover, you know, some of the misconceptions and what the community is saying back. Obviously, there's still a lot of coins that are due to be released, and that is, in my view, generally speaking, bearish, because the more you inflate, the more I'm getting diluted, right, as a holder. And this goes for any coin. We talked about this previously with this coin right here, right? 1.5 billion of these coins are inflated every year. Dogecoin, 5 billion coins every single year are inflated. And a lot of the holders of these coins don't realize this or don't know this. And this inflation, while some of the coins may not be sold, a lot of the coins are sold, right? Because it's used for development fees and for developers to get paid. And so they're not living off of Dogecoin. They're selling it into cash or fiat and then paying their rent and, you know, their mortgage or whatever their, you know, fee, food and transportation and all that. So it is important to understand the tokenomics. And the closer these coins circulating supply are to 100% of the maximum supply, right, the fully diluted value, the safer in my view, especially at this point in time, because there's going to be a lot of new investors coming into the space over the next few years, I would imagine. And they're not going to understand. And they're going to get not only diluted and dumped on, but then they're going to be left holding the bag. And, you know, holding a bag of like Bitcoin or Ethereum at this point, probably fairly safe for the long term. But holding a lot of these altcoins for a long period of time, right, at more than one cycle, it is very, very risky, right? A lot of people keep talking about staking their internet computer coins for 8 years. Some people in other ecosystems lock coins for more than that. I don't know. I just find that very, very risky because we don't know where this market is going to be. We don't know where these coins are going to be. And we don't know where the technology is going to be next cycle, let alone 2 cycles from now. But anyway, these are just my opinions, thoughts, and strategies on the market. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have suggestions on future videos, let me know. We're going to try to upload as much as possible, but we were definitely not going to be uploading every single day moving forward. But I would appreciate if you guys give this video a free thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss a new video. And if you want to help support the channel, become a channel member by clicking the join button down below to learn more. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Crypto on.